so steamed, you forgot your credit card. Maria, what's wrong?
Nothing. Nothing, okay? Everything.
Listen to me. Edmund is not going to end up with Brooke just because he can get her to have some, a gallbladder operation.
No, it's more complicated than that, Julia. It's just, it doesn't even matter what Edmund and Brooke do. That is not the issue.
Well, then what the heck is the issue?
I am the issue, Julia. I've got a decision to make, and I don't know what to do.
Well, what decision? What, you're gonna fight? You're not gonna take this lying down, are you?
No, this is not about a fight. It's not a fight. This is a tragedy. Brooke is not the villain here, and neither is Edmund.
Well, then who is? You?
No, there is no villain. Don't you understand? This is... It's more than that. There's not people trying to hurt anybody's feelings. It's people just feel what they feel. Edmund's feelings for Brooke are very real, Julia. There is much a part of him as his blue eyes are. And I can't stand up in that church and take vows and swear before God that I'll love him until death do us part unless I can accept those things about him. I can't expect him to change.
Well, Maria, the finger sandwiches and the cake have already been ordered. How many more times can she need him to save her life?
Good question. Come on, let's go. I want to check my patients before morning rounds.
Maria!
I mean it, Derek. Either take me to jail or clear out of here.
Brooke, you don't know what you're asking.
Don't do this. Go inside, please.
Stop telling me what to do! All of you!
Leave her the hell alone.
Jamie for a train ride. I violated a court order, so Tad put me under house arrest, so I just told him. I said, you either put me in jail or you get the cops and your mistress and mostly your lousy self off of my family's property now.
2 squad cars and an ambulance parked on Phoebe's flower beds is a little bit of overkill.
If you want me to get rid of the hardware, fine. I can do that.
I want more than that. I want you and Dixie out of here, too. And I never want to see either of your lying faces again. Thank you for backing me up.
Hey, forget about him. How are you? Seems like a lot has happened since we last saw each other.
You sound as if you care.
I do. You know I do. What's that supposed to mean?
It means I'm wondering why you're here. Why are you here, Edmund?
Well, I figured you'd moved back to this old dump, so I thought I'd stop on by and see how you were.
And just coincidentally, you landed right on the heels of the SWAT team.
You want to tell me what's going on?
Why don't you tell me? The last time I talked to you, I asked you to perjure yourself in front of God and a whole courtroom of people. Not to mention your fiancé and claim to be the father of this child I'm carrying. I asked you to break the law, Edmund. And you quite rightly refused and you walked out. And now you're here to see how I am?
Refusing to say that a child is mine when it's not does not mean that I don't care about you. I care. I also know something about desperation and what it can lead people to do. And most important of all, I know about Jamie. I know how you feel about him and the new baby.
Judge Hale gave custody of Jamie to Tad.
I'm sorry.
Tad stole my son. And I took him back and I ran away. And then Tad called the police and They hunted me down like I was an animal. And then they arrested me practically in front of Jamie, and
Where is he now?
he's in his room. He's sleeping. He was whimpering, you know. I feel like whimpering myself. I'm a prisoner. Are you one of my guards?
I'm your friend. I'm someone who cares about you. I know you've always done the best you could.
Never enough.
Brooke, kids don't want their parents to be perfect. They just want them to be there, doing their best.
You know, Tad pretended to understand what Jamie and I share. But all he ever really wanted was to come between us.
Well, that's something that nobody can do. Nobody. Okay? Because he knows that you love him. You're Jamie's mom. He loves you, and he needs you, and he always will.
He's so young, you know? I mean, he's like, we're two parts of the same whole. It's a connection that a man like Tad Martin could never possibly ever comprehend. And yet Judge Hale gave him custody.
Yeah, but only until the final divorce hearing, okay? You can still turn this around, Brooke. It's not too late. And Jamie's heart would break if he lost you.
If he lost me? What would make you think that he would ever lose me?
He won't, but if he did, he'd be lost to himself.
You're very good, aren't you? You're
What?
really, really good. I think
wrong?
you're the best one so far.
The best...
Jamie needs you. I think that's a stroke of genius. That's worthy of a Pulitzer Prize winner.
Brooke, Lumi,
I know
what
why
did I
you're
say?
here. I know why you're here. And I know who asked you to come here. It was Tad. He thought that you could make me see reason. Well, I'm going to tell you something. It's not going to work. And I'm never going to let them kill this baby.
I'm here because I care about what happens to you, Brooke. And that's no lie.
I messed things up with you and Maria. And she believed me. She thought that you were cheating on her with me. So you sided with Tad because it's the perfect way to get even with me.
Brooke, let's just sit down and talk this
Don't you
over.
know? Don't you think I know what's going on? Tad is not going to rest until he takes all of my children away from me. So he asked you to help him, and you said yes, because it's a way to pay me back.
In the first place, you did not mess up things with me and Maria. We're fine. Okay, we're going to get married in a few weeks. But even if they were not fine, even if she threw me out and never wanted to see me again and it was all your fault, I still wouldn't help Tad Martin dodge a freight train. And you know that. Don't you?
I don't know anything anymore, Edmund.
You know that.
I used to know that. Can you honestly say that you just happened to drop by here? At this particular moment, that you're not here to try and convince me to terminate this pregnancy?
No. I can't honestly say that.
I knew it. So if it wasn't Tad, who was it? Was it Livia? Was it Derek? Who?
Dixie. I'm sorry. She asked me to come.
Well, so much for my knight in shining armor, huh? The man who never lies to me. You're no better than Tad. I never wanted you to marry her. Not for an instant.
I know. You made that perfectly clear. And for the record, you were absolutely right.
Being right is cold comfort at this point. And I didn't say it to gloat. This is no time for pettiness. I've been watching how you handled yourself, Tad, and all this, and all you've done to try to defuse the crisis. And I have to say that I finally realize you really do care for Brooke in your way. I only pray that she will have the time and the opportunity to realize that for herself and forgive you.
Thank you, Phoebe.
Remember the day I left for Budapest? Do you remember that day I got on that plane to settle some imagined score with Dmitri and left you and all our hopes and dreams behind?
I haven't lost my memory, Edmund. I'm not senile.
You came to Wildwind that day and offered me one final chance. You gave it to me straight. You said straight out what I was doing would ruin everything with us. And you were right. It did. But I barreled off to Budapest anyway because I was out of my mind with hurt and anger, and I never realized until just this moment just how desperately helpless and sad you must have felt when you watched me go.
I am not out of my mind.
Yes, you are.
I am in full possession of my faculties.
Brooke, we're talking stakes real high here. We're talking about your life, Brooke. Your life.
I am fine. I'm
You are
fine.
not
I
fine.
feel fine.
You are not fine. You're not the Brooke that I know. The Brooke I know listens to the truth. She listens. She takes it on the chin and does what she has to do. The Brooke I know has courage.
I don't know what the truth is anymore.
I know what it is. I'll give it to you straight. You gotta quit dodging it and listen to me, please. Please, can you do that?
Everybody talks about my life, saving my life. What they don't like to say, what they're also talking about, is my baby's death.
I've been thinking about that. About the procedure, the operation. And I'm not asking you to let them do it, Brooke. What I am asking is that you have another sonogram. You go in there and let them explain it to you. You look at it. You get the answers to all your questions. That's all that I'm asking. If you want to prove Tad wrong, this is the way.
Not with Dr. Cady, because he's on Tad's side. Tad paid him off or something. You know, they don't let me see the sonogram. They don't let me look at the screen.
Okay, forget Dr. Kademi. What about another doctor? Is there another doctor you trust?
Dr. Clater. He was my obstetrician when Jamie was born.
Okay, Dr. Clater, do you trust him? Will you let him do the sonogram?
As long as Tad hasn't gotten to him.
Tad hasn't gotten to him. I promise you. And will you do it tonight? Get this resolved as soon as possible.
Go to the hospital tonight. Can Jamie stay here, though? In his room?
Yeah, I'll tell Tad. I'll make sure that he can, okay? Now, you get your coat, and I'll call the hospital. Okay? Tad, Brooke and I, we're gonna go to the hospital in my car, okay? So we don't need a police escort or an ambulance. Now, we've arranged for Dr. Clater to do another sonogram, and if she's okay, then you have to back off.
Fine. Fine. Whatever Dr. Clater says is just great with me.
Okay, and she also would like to have Jamie asleep in his room, stay here tonight, okay?
No problem. Is it all right if I stay with him?
Both of you?
No, I absolutely don't have to.
I don't care. It's probably better anyway. You know, if he wakes up, it's probably better if you're here. I've always wanted what's best for him.
Okay. Listen, we'll let you know.